We'll see how we're feeling at the time.
Magic.
I suppose we can still draw from the place of power, and we'll get a temporary damage boost, or sign boost of some variety. It's Yurden. Okay, so that may or may not be relevant, but we have, of course, already picked up the skill point from it. Okay, these are Indriga warriors, which is it's not super relevant, but there are a lot of them. Wow. So, and one of them is seemingly coming for us right now. Maybe, maybe not. Well, I'm just looking at the mini-map. They seem to be headed in our general direction. Even though I'm not terribly interested in picking a fight with them right now. I do still think that of the relatively common enemies, the Indrigas may have some of the better items that they drop. So, not out of the question. But still not a very high priority. Now, if there are other kinds of Indrigas that are more interesting, then we definitely could be talking. We getting wolves versus Indrigas? We might be. Still more Indrigas. Wow, they're everywhere over here. And let's just double check. Which one did I actually put our custom marker on? Oh, I put it on this one, which is definitely not the one we were saying we wanted to lead off with. So I know this will take a little bit longer for us to cross over through here to get to the place we said we wanted to go to. But I do still think we might want to make that happen, just to make it easy for us to get the job done. Make sure we aren't missing anything. That does mean that at least for the moment we are on the path. Huh? Got a grove? Hold on. Where? Which direction? We just so happened to pop onto the path here, and then immediately we're getting some kind of notification about it. Wonder if we're close enough to the actual quest spot that that's what that's an indication about. Even if that wasn't really what I was going for. Is that just a warrior? You have an awfully big tail. Yeah, it is. It's just a normal one. I mean, now it's probably too late to back out of this, so sure. None of that. That will be all. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I just wanted to see if there's anything directly on the path, like these deer. Or there's... sounds like a bear. Very close by. But I don't really see it. Oh no, it's this golem. That's what it is. Let's save. We cannot save because we are probably technically too close to that and technically in combat right now. This might even be one of the other things we were saying we wanted to explore. It is. It is. Okay, so we've immediately thrown out all plan of doing this in the order we said we wanted to do them in. We'll try to do all of them, see what happens, and this could very well be a super high level. Oftentimes these are question mark, question mark, question mark. It is a guarded treasure. You are 27 though. Golems are tough. So I think of all the level 27 enemies out there, this will be a difficult one. But I think we can make it happen. Yeah, we don't want to be near that dome. Whoa, that is a scary sight. You want to deliberately reduce your armor like that. Then can we do something like throw on an Elementa oil to increase our damage here? That, I think, will make a big difference because you are going to have really tough armor to break through. Like we saw, that Igni dealt almost no damage. We do still have Quen on, technically speaking. That was a crit. Not that the damage really would indicate such. But, yeah. Oh, I'm going for the power strikes here. Perhaps partially out of... Ooh, we sidestepped that. And that. Strong attacks working? Question mark? What is this? It's almost like there's a whole different move that Lids just didn't use the entirety of the game. Sort of. Not hit that time, though. Shoot from behind. Actually, I don't remember if shooting from behind is technically what we're supposed to do against the golems or not. I remember the rock trolls, that's a no-no. Because they have big armor there. And that was cool. We interrupted you. Your big slam at the jam attack on a few occasions there. So that did work out well, actually. That's obviously you blocking. That's not a good idea. And that may have been a big attack that you fortunately happened to miss with. There's a big... Whoa! Yup, slam move. I did not expect it to have that kind of area of effect. I will give you that much. I will give you that much. It's like, you haven't even seen my final form. Yeah, I just stood there and ate that. I was like, surely it can't be that bad, right? Okay, we also ate that one. What is happening? Let's not get hit by that. And I would love if you would stop blocking. Can we counterattack a golem? That seems like a bad idea. Can we parry you? Not really. In case you were wondering, it did still use our Quen. Which would lead me to believe that, yeah, it's, technically something that still deals damage to us. But there are not many Earth Elementals that we've actually been able to fight, because like I said, most of them have been too high a level for us. We have 2 more hits left on our oil. Not sure we're going to need to use it again, because it's almost down here. Though, it has enough in the way of armor that without that oil, I think we are going to see the damage go way down. Okay, don't do that. Not when our Quen is down. So that is an extremely cool attack. I will absolutely give you that. Probably the coolest attack of any that we've seen thus far. Down you go. And, okay. Solid loot from you, and this is what you are guarding. What is it? Carol, could you please actually look at it? Okay, Lesser Runestone, Greater Glyph, Lunar Shards, Good Boots, and what is going to be a very heavy chestplate that is going to make us encumbered. That is one of the other reasons why I wanted to try to make it over to Ermion as soon as possible, because I think we will be able to sell things to him. So, I mean, we could even use one of the fast travel locations to go to a town quickly and do some of that, because that was getting somewhat urgent. We aren't quite as much overweight as we've been in the past. Let's check out those boots, though, before we start dropping things, because I thought those could have been interesting. I think these are the ones that we just picked up. Oh, no. Same name, but I think this is them, and they are a higher level. Yes, they are, in fact, the same boots we are wearing right now, just 2 levels higher and 3 armor higher. We actually lose a little bit of armor piercing, but I think to gain a little bit of armor, probably a trade that we'll take. Also has a little bit more durability on them, so short term at least, they're okay for that reason. And yeah, this Nilfgaardian armor is, again, just really heavy. So, I mean, we have some shirts that are not exactly valuable. They are crafting materials for some chestplates, I think. So for that reason, I do kind of like having some, but I think let's get rid of a little bit of our stuffs here to shed a bit of weight. How heavy are the trousers? Actually, fairly light. These ones, a little less so, but they're still not worth very much. I think we can dump that, and that does get us below our threshold. Let's just give us a little more wiggle room. And we could dump some things like torches, and we may not need quite as many of those, since we're using cat potion generally when we are in dark places. But okay, now we have a little more room to carry more things in case we do run into additional things before we get the chance to go to a shop. I think that is everything around here. That's just the stuff that we just dropped. Okay, so we've succeeded in doing the specific thing that we were saying we were trying to do later. So well done, Lids. Then, oh no, it's not quests. It is... So we got the one that is the second furthest to the right on the clock we were talking about. I think we do just go to Ermion now. And there is a side quest here. So that does mean that perhaps there is still a decent chance that we might find ourselves getting more items, which is in some ways not a great thing right now, because we want to get rid of things before we start adding things. But yeah, this is what we saw before. Okay, here's a marker. So we do have a fast travel spot. Do we quickly duck on over to something like, I mean, could be anywhere really, but just somewhere where we can sell things, somewhere where we know that there is, say, a specialist, ideally. And I think Harsdal does have one. I thought it had a really good weaponsmith, did it not? But I thought we also went there a while ago and maybe we just didn't look long enough to find him. I thought he was sort of down by the water a bit. Or maybe I'm mixing that up with a different town, but I thought so. Yeah. Over here, I mean, this is at least where the actual stone is. Yeah, okay. There you are.
You're back.
That I am. I do have lots of things to sell to you.
Let me have a look.
I'm hoping that you have the money. You certainly have the money for us to sell things to you. So we dump this. I think it is technically higher armor and certainly higher resistances, but that is because it's a heavy chestplate. Then we can finally dump some Nilfgaardian Guardsman armor rather than drop them all, and they are worth a reasonable amount. So for that reason, it is definitely nice for us to be able to sell them. Thing is, yes, they are worth a bit, but they're also very heavy, so if you think about value per weight, then maybe they're actually not that great, but that's a question for another time. Then I think we just dump other light things. We'll keep our fancy gear because we kind of like to have that hanging around. These are the older versions of the boots we are currently wearing. There's no real reason to use lower level versions of that unless we say we're to lose a bunch of durability on our existing ones, but I think that's not really a huge concern right now. And then the Assassin's boots, at one point in time, those were a type of boots that we were saying that we would potentially swap into because they were similar in terms of their strength relative to the boots that we were using. So it was kind of like, well, choose which one you like, but I think now that we have gotten boot upgrades, they are no longer as good. One thing that I'm wondering, though, is, I know that we experimented with this a while ago, but when it comes to the armor, when is it best, if ever, to break it down? Not sure. Let's sell the bad weapons, but we may want to start looking at breaking down armor. I thought that many times we found that it was just not super good. The items that we got out of the armors, it was just generic, like leather and things of that sort, maybe a little bit of iron, but none of the rare metals and jewels that we sometimes get from breaking down things like the fancy swords. Okay, so let's see. We could sell some of those things to you, which, well, I mean, I don't really want to do that as much as more so just, again, the generic types of loot that we get from some monsters, like Monster Blood is probably safe to sell a bit of that, because this guy's just absolutely loaded on coins. So we could throw a bunch of things at him and he'd just be able to buy it all. But once we start getting down this list here, then we start to get to, well, I mean, some things like the leather straps, for example, other kinds of leather and wire and string are the things that I think we were getting when we were breaking down most of our armor. And that just is hard to get excited about because those things are pretty common, not very valuable. And so it did seem, at the time at least, like dismantling our armor was generally not a great thing. Oh, this is actually repair. Hold on. Move, upgrade, dismantle. This, yeah, cured leather, leather scraps, thread. I think leather scraps are a little bit tough to get. We're not usually getting those from when we're looting things. The cured leather we'll get on occasion, but that is still like a medium rarity type of leather. So maybe you can make the case that it is somewhat worthwhile. Also, this crossbow, level 18, I think it was like basically the same level as the crossbow we're using right now. Actually, let's compare. Yeah, they're both level 18. Don't really need the second one. It does give us some dark iron ore, which is a little bit tough to get. I mean, let's do it, because why not? And then, sure, we'll break this down, get the leather scraps. Still don't think it's a great option, but why not? It's not like it's an amazingly valuable item. And this is a silver sword, so we can actually get some silver ore out of breaking it down. Is that worth 54 coins, though, for silver ore? I thought that was a little bit cheaper than that. I don't know. I don't know about that one. The ornate sword actually gives silver ingots. That's really good. And that costs less. So, for reference, worse crafting material, more expensive. Better crafting material, half the price. That's why I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on this one. So, yeah, it's a little weird. A little weird. Oh, we can actually get leather scraps from breaking down some of the... some of the hides. The worn leather pelt, yes, but rarer things like the white bear hide, no. So maybe it actually is not one of the better ones. Because this would suggest otherwise. When you guys were saying, generally should break down the shells in order to get pearls. And while we're at it, why don't we do that? Because we do have a lot of those shells. I think the sirens are dropping a reasonable number of them. So, sure. Anything else? What happens if we try to break down black pearls? Oh, we can get black pearl dust. Interesting. I suppose that makes sense. Powdered pearl also makes sense. We've seen plenty of that. But, yeah, it comes full circle. Okay. Huh. Alright, we have dropped our weight considerably after doing this, though, so I think we have already succeeded in some ways. And then, I don't think we want to sell any, or break down any of our crazy valuable swords, at least not at the moment. But like this cleaver hood is not worth much. It doesn't give us great items. Maybe we just sell this one altogether. Looks like it's one of our more lackluster of our swords. I do like the type of stats. The critical hit damage bonus and armor piercing, I think, are things that we have generally been trying to prioritize a bit. But I think that might be the cheapest of all of our other swords here. And I think we just sell this silver sword here. And so get rid of you. Yeah, it gives us 83 coins to sell, whereas it was going to cost something like 53 to break it down and get the silver ore. And the other one we were saying was sell this, which is worth about 200. It's not a ton, but like we were seeing on the other page, we aren't going to get much out of it if we are trying to break it down. Do you have any of those silver ores? And then we could actually see, like, for reference, it does cost 88. Okay, so technically speaking, it still would have been worthwhile for us to break it down. We would have still benefited from that, but we also get to get some coins out of selling it too, so either way, it's fine. Still not it's not like it's a crazy valuable thing that we want to make sure that we are absolutely min-maxing. Anything else that's worth picking up here? I think we'll probably be fine. I think these are all diagrams we've seen before for generally just very high-level swords that we would never be able to use, or would not be able to use for a very long time, and probably can wait it out a bit to see if they're still relevant when we do get closer to that actual level. So let's carry on here. I think we've done the thing that we came here to do.
So long.
Smooth sailing.
That was just a little too sarcastic. A little too much attitude there. You almost didn't want us to have smooth sailing. Your best customer. And by best customer, I mean the person who just sold you a couple thousand coins worth of stuff and would have made anyone else broke, except you are actually incredibly rich, so not you. We're a supplier, if anything else. Okay, so now I think we go back to this area here. And, okay, alchemy supplies. Okay, so yes, there were going to be shopkeepers here, but they weren't going to be specialists, I don't think. So we could, say, sell some of our alchemy ingredients to them, yes. But let's just generally figure out what the deal is here. Okay. Can we light this? I guess it's kind of already lit. Oh, hold on. The game has tabbed out. There we go. I don't know why it does that sometimes on me. But it does seem as though there's a new quest here. Huh. Does it have anything to do with this dramatic something or other right here? And you have built a throne on the remains of a longship, it seems? It looks cool, I'll give you that, but it is not the most practical. Also, how did you get the ship over here? A little silly, if you ask me. Okay, so Ermion is right down there. Let's see what this is all about first. Huh? It's down below? Okay. Seems like we're elevated a bit. Is there like a cave complex down there? What is the deal? Oh, absolutely, in fact. That might be where most of the stuff is happening. Hello? Is there any reason why we can't take all your belongings? No, it seems like we have the all clear to do it. And yeah, the shopkeeper, someone is going to be over there in the corner. Definitely read that book before. We, I think at this point, know about all the locations. You lying down? You're asleep. Yolar. I mean, maybe that's why we can take your stuff right in front of you, although that usually isn't really a problem. So, anything else here for us to do, or can we wake you up? Do we need to meditate? We cannot speak to you at the moment. Can I bump you and get you to wake up that way? Not sure we can. Maybe that's the reason. I mean, the sun maybe is right. No, it is like 2 a.m. But I was thinking, you know, it looks cool in this area when it's night. Maybe we talk to this person here, this druid, and see what we can do about this quest.
Oi, step over here.
What's up?
Heard you calling.
Aye, because I was. I thank Mother Nature she didn't skimp on my voice as she did with some others I know.
See, one of us, a gill, went mute all of a sudden.
Okay.
No spell or potion helps him. But it is said strong emotions and experiences can restore speech. So I thought perhaps you might. I'll pay you, of course. Give you an excellent Gwent card.
Oh, now we're talking. Okay. Yeah, you still haven't really explained what you want us to do. You want us to, like, scare the living bejesus out of this guy? Make him have a strong experience? And then they might start speaking? Yeah, it's not clear that this is a witcher's job.
Try, but I wouldn't even know where to start. You want me to scare him?
Aye, good, good. That should do it. Scare, irritate. Whatever you wish, provided you do him no harm. You can usually find a gill near the hallowed oak. Oh man, he's probably praying in his heart for a cure.
Okay. Shock therapy? That's one way to refer to it, I suppose. Let's see if we have a level for this. 24, actually. Wow. Which is, it's a good fit for us. I'm just a little surprised that surprising this guy would require fighting a level 24-ish enemy. I mean, he did say, whatever you do, don't kill him. And I do wonder if perhaps he's going to try to, you know, fight us if we scare him. And think that, you know, a witcher trying to scare someone is looking for a fight, which is, to be honest, a perfectly reasonable assumption. But, though druids have gained fame worldwide as outstanding healers, even with all their spells and elixirs, they at times prove powerless against diseases. Such was the case with Egil, a druid who had lost his voice, failed, or his friend decided that since traditional methods had failed, it was time to try newer, more innovative approaches. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. It fell to Geralt to test them. Alright. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hey, you want to wake up your friend so we can talk to him? That'd also be helpful. Something happening over here.
Tin pots. Stand to make a lot of noise. Maybe give him a smack once he's asleep.
Oh, this is the guy we're looking for. Okay. Let's see. So now you're saying help Egil recover his voice by giving him a scare when he's sleeping? Okay, I suppose. Yeah, we'll do it now. Oh, do we, like, ard them? Knock them together? Yup! Now do you fight us? Or do you like summon something that will find us? We should probably. Do you just? Excuse me. Rude. Very rude. I mean, we should actually make this our active quest if this is the thing we're actually doing. Keep trying to scare the druid until he recovers his voice. So that didn't
Maybe
really
I'll
work.
say something if I put out his fire.
His fire is not active. Now it is active, but I feel like putting out the fire that we created is maybe not all that important. He also may not care if he's not facing it. Oh, what about this? I can't really tell what that is. Is this something we want to try? That looks like a beehive almost.
Hornet's nest. Known to have therapeutic uses. In shock therapy, for instance.
Oh, okay. But how do we use it? We have to get you over to it.
Are you the silent druid? Oh yeah.
Sounds like it.
Dumb question.
So, have they tried to cure you?
They ever try to cure you some other way? Give you potions or herbs? Not just mute. Seems he's deaf too.
Maybe. I suppose you could just nod or shake your head no. If you could hear but were unable to speak.
When do you lose your voice? Can you show me? Hold up some fingers?
Yeah, once again.
Charming man.
So rude.
Doesn't look like we'll figure much out talking. So long. Talking won't get me anywhere.
Okay. We were talking about the fire. I feel like you need to be facing the fire to notice that we are taking it out, though, because, like, when your back is turned to it like this... Hold on. Let's talk to you. So you are no longer sitting down.
Doesn't look like we'll figure much out talking.
Not sure if this is actually going to matter, but now you're standing up, kind of, sort of. Now we extinguish this, and now you're like, oh my goodness. How could you, Geralt? Oh, no, except I didn't actually want to talk to you this time. I mean, it looks like it's the hornet's nest, right? But how do we actually do something with the hornet's nest is the question. Because it's here, yes. Do we art it down? Ah, here we go. Now the hornets are chasing you. Okay. Now maybe we ignite this. Now he continues to get mad at us. Oh, maybe you have to actually ignite it and then I'll turn it out. Okay. You need to be the one who starts the fire. We didn't start the fire. You did. This fire's always been burning. What do you have to say about that? Oh?
Piss off already, you... Oh, no.
Oh, you had a vow of silence. Oh.
3 years. 3 years. Not a word, not a peep. Until today, you've made me break my vow. Happy?
I mean, we did mean well. It does appear as though we were tricked. I mean, I feel like he's not going to take too kindly to this because he didn't exactly, well, sent us some signals that he did not appreciate that we were trying to shock him. So I think it might actually be better if we say that we were tricked. Of course, this might cause a bit of a tension to rise between this druid and the druid who began this quest with us, so do we want that to happen? I don't know.
Oh,
maybe,
sorry.
maybe not.
Someone tricked me. I thought.
Boo-hoo-hoo. My deepest sympathies. Now get out of my sight, you imbecile.
Sorry. Okay. Interesting. Now we'll chat with you. Random was it you, Random Druid?
Heard
Yes.
it screaming clear over here. Grand work, Witcher. Your reward as promised.
Yeah. But you did kind of play us for a fool here. Or we could go the sarcastic approach. Nah, I think we just play it straight here. You definitely tricked us.
Don't like being played for a fool. Remember that. Or next time, you'll be the one left speechless.
Alright, didn't need to turn it into a threat, per se, but... we are done with it now. So, interesting, because it was technically level 24 quest. And yet... oh! We got Yorveth out of it. I do remember seeing Yorveth in other people's Gwent decks. It is definitely a Scoia'tael hero, but it was a 10 strength Scoia'tael hero. So, no special abilities here, but still a strong card to add to our Scoia'tael deck. And we are definitely light on the heroes for other factions. We have a ton for Northern Realms. We do have some for Scoia'tael and some for... we actually have a reasonable amount for Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard might be in second in that regard. But we do have, well, some in our deck, of course. We have the ones that are generic, like Geralt and Ciri, who can go in any deck. And Yennefer as well. But, where is... Isengrim was a relatively early edition, and somewhat recently, I think we got Etienne and Saskia. Yeah, okay, you know, number of heroes on the Scoia'tael side, it is definitely growing. Definitely growing. And so why don't we just, before we forget, throw Yorveth in. That means we can probably get rid of someone, and who do we want to get rid of? We have the various muster people. Probably don't want to remove them, otherwise they all get weaker. Other than that, we have a lot of the flexible, or technically agile units, the ones that we can play in either the melee or range row, and I'm not a huge fan of them. I suppose, you know, it does give you the ability to be a little bit more clever with your weather effects and use a weather effect in one row and then play your cards in the other row, but it's just, maybe it's just not quite flashy enough for me. I'm looking for the big numbers, and, you know, just 6 strength and plain and simple 6 strength is hard to get excited about. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have the healers, and the healers can be good, but in Northern Realms, at least, our healers have some strength on top of that, so you get a little bit of a benefit from playing the healer directly, and then, of course, you get to bring back a card from your graveyard, whereas these healers, because they have 0 strength, are quite literally just bringing back a card from your graveyard, which is also a little bit tough to get excited about. There are some interesting things you can do, like play a spy that your opponent played on your side of the playing field from your graveyard, because your opponent's spy is going to your graveyard, but it's not going to happen all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe we take one of them out. Feels like 3 might be a little excessive. And then... oh, is this a separate little area here? This is. I was assuming this was the same area where we had the sleeping shopkeeper, but I'm not seeing the sleeping shopkeeper. I think this is smaller than that area. So, oh, you're in here? But now you're continuing your vow of silence after we already forced you to break it? Okay. Okay, it's 4 a.m. Snooze, you lose, buddy. You gonna wake up yet? No? Okay, to be fair, I suppose I can't really blame you. So the sun is, for a second there, it looked like it was rising already. Sort of. Little strange, but maybe we speak to Ermion, who is nearby. Actually, what? We have a green question mark? Have we ever seen a green question mark before? What's the deal with that?
Told his son to kill the giant. Screamed at him. Not to come home without the beast's head.
I think those are the people directly below us, but yeah, usually the question marks are white, not green. That was certainly raised an eyebrow. I mean, it was saying it was below us. Maybe that is actually... oh, hold on. Don't really want to fall down that way, but maybe that is actually worth going back in. Talk to those guys again, but now we are going to have to find another way up here because we are falling quickly. This looks like this is technically the official path. So, sure. Let's go back up this way then. Okay, those are more deer. What was that? Oh, that's just mushrooms. Okay, that's fine. So, we really fall this far? Wow. Apparently. Now we're getting back up here. And this... Yeah, here's the place where I think we were hearing those other people. It was probably just these guys that we were sort of talking to before. Oh, look at that, you have a little window in your hobbit hole. That's lovely. Well done. But yeah, where is Ermion? We want... I mean, this... Want to play McGwent? That much is true. He's back this way, you say. There's also this alchemy supplies spot, which presumably is one of the other shopkeepers, but may also be asleep? I don't know. Let's see, if we go around this way, I'm thinking there's going to be another cave entrance that we've not yet been in. And this is the one we're really looking for. Okay. So... Ermion is awake, fortunately, it appears. Whereas the others maybe less so.
Can we talk?
Okay. So, what, you're a Hierophant now? Apparently? Might have missed that part.
You were made a Hierophant. Congratulations.
I thank you.
Does that mean a promotion?
The
for him?
Skellige Circle chose me years ago, about the time when the old disputes between the clans were reigniting.
Job's been mainly politics then.
Aye, but I've not minded. Since time immemorial, the Druids have wandered betwixt the clans, keeping endless feuds in check. We care for equilibrium, the balance of all things, not just trout populations and streams. We're lucky the Jarls always valued us as advisors.
Okay. Interesting to get that perspective. The war between the clans? Is that what this is supposed to be referring to?
The war. Curious to know your opinion.
Well, I believe Emmia's chosen
Oh, no.
a poor
No
time
card.
to wage it.
Hard to find any better as I see it, with the North now in disarray.
The North is weak, true. But I've the impression the Emperor is dealing with some domestic strife. Far too much to start a war. Radovid is a madman, but a cunning one. He's certain to take advantage.
That's an interesting perspective that I don't think we've heard much of thus far. I mean, you say you have a feeling that that's the case, and normally you'd say, well, you know, if anyone has a feeling for that type of thing, doesn't really stand for much, but you are a druid, and so of all the people to read into your general feelings about, you're probably pretty high on that list. But as for Gwent, that is actually the main reason why we are looking to speak to you.
Wouldn't happen to play Gwent, would you?
Certainly. I got my first deck, years ago, back in Sintra. Proceeded to teach the game to half of Skellige. Why do you ask? Looking to play?
I don't know. Just wondering if
Yeah,
maybe you were
glad to play
interested.
around.
Something like that.